Hi, welcome to your capstone course for the Multidisciplinary Studies degree at Boise State University. My name is Greg Wilson and I'm one of the instructors of that course. I want to tell you a little bit more about the course and what you can expect in this short video. First of all, we do call it the capstone course because we are hoping that it will be kind of the crowning achievement that holds all of your coursework here at Boise State together, that is kind of a culmination of all the effort and work you put in over the years, and that shows you and us as well that you're ready to graduate with the Multidisciplinary Studies degree. You've got one semester left, and I look forward to seeing a lot of you at graduation in a few short weeks. A little bit more about our course specifically. It has three basic topics that we try to help you integrate. The first one is important. It's your past coursework. And the courses that you've taken, we don't want you to forget about. In fact, we want you to be able to use the skills and knowledge that you've learned at your time here at Boise State to be more effective in work and even in your personal life. So what we have designed the capstone course to do is to take the benefit of all of the courses and the information you've learned and to kind of put that into practical use. Which brings us to the second part of our course. The second part of the MDS course helps you to use the skills you've learned in your courses in a practical way through service learning. So we're going to ask you to pick a service learning partner to volunteer with up to 15 hours, and in that experience to kind of put into practice those skills and things that you've been learning. You may have had some service learning experience in the past in other courses at Boise State, but we do not want this to be a time where you are just filing papers or doing menial tasks for your service learning organization. We want you to put thought into what organization you want to work with based on what your future goals are, based on what your skills in life experience may be in your job career, or based on the courses that you've taken. Putting all those together and finding the right service learning organization to work with is an important part of our course. The third section of our course, you'll see the picture of an open book. That represents academic work. And so one of the other main goals of our MDS course is to make sure that you're able to work at a level that's appropriate to graduate at the bachelor's level from a university. So that will involve some research methods, some formatting in papers, and you will be writing an academic paper in the course. Whether you pick a research paper as your full capstone project, or you do and create a project for the service learning organization, which I will talk about in a minute. In either case, you will need to write a properly formatted academic style paper using proper sources and references and works cited pages. So that's basically what we're doing over the 16 weeks, is combining those three things. Your past coursework, your service learning experience in the present during this course, and the research methods that you have learned in college, putting them to use to make a very practical project or a research paper that you'll be able to present to your service learning organization. How does it work? Well, what we want you to do is to try to pick a service learning organization that you feel can really take advantage of the courses that you've taken, that can use the skills that you've had. Some people in the past have used their computer skills, and so they will find a service learning organization that needs that type of help and create a project for them, or even research areas in how certain kinds of software or other solutions can help the service learning organization do their job better. We've also have students who've lost family members, and so feel that going through that process, they've learned something about themselves, that may have taken classes in that area, and so they work with a hospice organization, for example, to help them do their job better. So there are lots of different ways that you can combine these three elements, but all three will be present in the capstone project. Whether you do a paper or whether you end up doing a project, we want to combine those three elements into one successful capstone. How's our class specifically going to work? Well, one main part of it will be discussion boards. This is an online class, and so we do use that forum every week to keep in touch with each other, to talk about the skills that we're going to learn in career and paper writing skills, research skills. So we're going to be asking you to post on that quite regularly, and one of the ways that I will know that you're involved and invested in the classes is through our discussion boards. Another section that we will have is journals, and these will be more geared towards your service learning experience, how it's going, what kinds of problems you may be having. We'll also be looking at some of the program outcomes that we have as a department, and you'll be talking about those in journals. Journals are seen only by me. Discussion boards, of course, is for the whole class, and so we have a few different tools we use to kind of help us understand what we're doing over the semester and how we can be successful in the course and beyond. Also, of course, there will be some quizzes over some different aspects of the course. As we learn new skills, there will be quizzes over those topics, and they are not a big part of our capstone course because I want it to be much more of a hands-on experience kind of class, but there will be some quizzes that you will have to take. So one of the skills that we will learn, there will be some different skills that we'll take quizzes on and kind of talk about in discussion boards, real world, hopefully, skills that you can put into practice once you graduate from the multidisciplinary studies program. One of those is the idea of critical thinking. That starts really as you pick your service learning project. Critical thinking is also involved in the kind of topic that you choose to do your project or your paper on, and then once you find that problem or issue in the service learning arena that you're involved in, the way you solve that also helps to show your critical thinking skills. I know you've had classes on critical thinking, even in our first course, MDS 300, and in this course, therefore, we want to put all those skills we've learned into practice. Some of the questions you can use as you look at your service learning site, as you try to choose a good one to do your service learning with, is how can I help this place using the skills or the knowledge that I've gained? What other courses, knowledge do I have that could be brought to bear to improve the processes that they may already have in place? Another aspect besides critical thinking skills that we want to master in this course is, of course, writing the academic paper. If you choose to do the full paper as your capstone project, and that would be a good choice for those who are considering further schooling, maybe a master's degree. That is a paper that I expect to be about 13 to 15 pages. You'll need 10 to 12 academic sources to support that paper, and it will be in an area that combines, as I said, your service learning experience with your course background. So as you do your service learning experience, if you're going to write a paper, really be looking around to see what is a researchable topic that I could use here to bring my skills and knowledge as an academician and as a student of the skills I've learned in the MDS program to bear on this problem, to maybe help the service learning solve that problem. And so we're hoping that whether you do a full-blown research paper like that or whether you do a project, that the academic support will definitely be a large part of what you're doing. If you do choose to do a project, those can be very practical and very helpful, but sometimes students err on the side of choosing a project that has no type of researchable issue or development behind it. If you're just planning a party for the organization and that's the project you create, you may not have a lot of academic sources to back that up. So be careful about the kinds of projects you choose. The service learning organization that you agree to volunteer with may have some ideas of projects they would like to see, but please, you have to put it through the requirements of this course to see if that's an actual project that you could do that combines not only your service learning but your own skills and the academic research paper. Also, at this level of course in your capstone, we want to see that you're able to communicate well to an audience. In our digital age and in this online class, this type of oral communication will happen over a webcam, as I'm doing right now. And so you're going to be practicing that skill in the course, and then at the end of the course you will present your findings of your paper or what you did in your project in a presentation just like this one, where I can not only see you, hear you, but also see the information that you're presenting through a PowerPoint or other presentation tools. So that's another part of what the course involves, and we again want you to master these skills by this course so that you can go out into the world with confidence that you know how to do these things that employers are more and more often requiring of you. Well, what's the next step? In the first couple weeks of our course, you'll be concentrating on which service learning organization you'll want to work with. We have a great new tool called OrgSync that helps you to narrow those choices down. They have Boise State has partnered with a lot of different nonprofit organizations in the Treasure Valley and even beyond. And so you can use the site called OrgSync, and of course there's information in our Blackboard course about that, to find those organizations, keeping in mind that you want to find an organization that does fit your background, your skills, and what you can do for them. OrgSync is not required to be used in my class, and so another option that some students use is to fill out a student-initiated service learning project form. Basically, that's a form that tells me you're not going through OrgSync, but you have a good nonprofit organization in mind to volunteer with, that it has the needs of that match the skill set that you have, and so you can go on your own in that way as long as that form is filled out and sent to me, and I've agreed to that. That can be a very flexible way for you to find the exact organization that you need. The key to the whole decision about your service learning is for you to really stop and think about what you want to get out of your capstone project or paper. So that's probably the mistake that most students make most often, is they pick the first service learning organization they see on a list because it's close by or because it's available. And then at the end of the semester, they end up with a little bit of a problem because they don't really have a researchable topic, or they don't have a viable project to do for our capstone project in this course. So remember, it does need to integrate your past coursework, your life experience, and the needs of the service learning organization you're working with. Don't pick a service learning organization because it's convenient or because you've done that service learning through that organization before. This is not the usual service learning experience of students, because you're going to actually be going out into the field and putting into practice the things you've learned and the things that you already know. Some questions you might want to use when approaching a service learning organization in these first few weeks. Is there an opportunity for me to come in and help you with the problem you're having? Or tell the service learning organization, these are the things I can do from my job, from the classes I've taken at Boise State. Are there areas of need or concern or things I can do using those skills to help you do your job better? Once you've determine that, then you will be in a much better position to pick a great service learning organization, and believe me, they will be overjoyed that you're helping them in those areas.